Welcome to BUNIYAAD podcast by Dr. Monica Nagpal. We did not inherit this world like this. Then how can we give this to our next generation in this form? We need to reflect mindfully on our core values and make conscious efforts towards protecting the planet and also achieve all sustainable development goals. With BUNIYAAD, I, Monica Nagpal, will bring to fore sustainability champions who are striving to bring back harmony with the nature and also dignity of each life. Namaskar दोस्तों. Again we are here with yet another episode of BUNIYAAD, laying the foundation of sustainable living. And we are honored today to have with us Dr. Ruby Makhija. Welcome, Ruby Makhija, sir.
Thank you so much, Dr. Monica. It's entirely my pleasure and my privilege to be here on this forum, and thank you so much for bringing all the good work that is being done, giving it a platform. And this is a great idea that you have and a great initiative of yours. Thank you. Really glad to be here.
Thank you so much for that encouraging words. I think my day is already made with those encouraging words. Just to give a small brief, Dr. Ruby Makhija is an ophthalmologist, and now she's the founder of Bio-Based Wednesdays. And if you're wondering what is all this about, just pause and let's see what unfolds. I will now request Dr. Ruby Makhija to please introduce yourself.
Thank you, Dr. Monica. So I'll begin by saying that I'm just one common human being, a citizen of India, I would say, who's trying to bring about a small change, who's trying to contribute whatever little bit I can in my individual capacity. That's my first introduction. Then then the layers of introductions follow, which would include I'm a doctor by profession. I'm a qualified ophthalmologist, but I'm not practicing any longer. I have switched my work from medical field to now I can't define it as a field, but my endeavor to make my country, not just the country, I would say a world a better place. So in whatever little manner I can contribute. So I have my own NGO now, which is very young. It's just about 2.5 years old, which is into waste management sector, single-use plastic alternatives, and also women security. So these are the 3 areas where I focus. Apart from that, I work with the Municipal Corporation of Delhi as their brand ambassador and their city level task force member for plastic waste management. I also chair the District Magistrate South's local committee, which is against sexual harassment at workplace. So that's where I just go with the flow. So whatever work comes my way and and appeals to me, and if I have time, I just pick it up. So it's doesn't require that detailed introduction, but yes, this is what I like to do, and this is what I'm engaged with currently, you may say.
Absolutely. So the introduction means that she can be reached out for so many things. That is why the introduction is important, so that we know if we are in trouble in all of these fields, who we have to remember, and this is where we can reach out. So thank you so much for being present for so many people in so many places. Thank you so much for that. Since we are talking about since we are talking about sustainability here, and you are absolutely into it because of your so many ventures which you have taken out for sustainable development goals, one of the sustainable development goals, so to say. And even if you're talking about women harassment also, that also includes one of the sustainable development goals, which is about gender equality, where we talk about that also. So any which ways, whichever we will be talking about, we can encompass all of these and we can start on that. But how did you come? Like, you are a qualified doctor, as you just said, and how did all this start?
Well, I think it was just destined to be. I moved into this new colony, which is now a zero waste model colony, probably the first in Delhi, Navjeevan Vihar. This was somewhere in December 2016. And as destiny would take it, my car was stolen in February, just after 2 months of moving in here, and that got me in touch with the Resident Welfare Association. I gave them a couple of inputs and all, and they thought that, and then around that time, my daughters were busy preparing for entrance examination, and I wanted to be around my daughter and spend the time productively and not being away from home for long. And I only had a part-time practice, medical practice then, and seemingly I said, okay, I mean, that's a good way of contributing towards the society. And I just picked it up, not knowing what it was holding for me, actually. And then that was actually also the year 2017 when the solid waste management guidelines by Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change were launched, and Swachh Sarvekshan was picking up. People had actually, we just started talking about waste and
Yes, yes.
sanitation and swachhata. Also, being a doctor, I mean, I had always seen the curative end of the disease spectrum, where the patients would come to us and then we would treat them. And
Hmm.
I very strongly felt that in a country like India, which has now, of course, 7 years back, it had a big chunk of communicable diseases, and most of which were related to sanitation and hygiene. So,
Absolutely.
and I also felt that these diseases were so avoidable just by maintaining sanitation. So somehow I think it just clicked, and I took upon sanitation and waste as on priority when I entered into RWA. It also gave me a platform where I could work beyond an individual also. Of course, we all work in our individual abilities, but that was slightly a bigger platform where I felt that I could bring about a change which was at a larger scale. And I think it just began, and we started having our interactions with the municipal corporation, and then they started explaining us that these are the guidelines. We did a lot of research, and there was the term zero waste was not in then. I'll be very honest with you. We're just talking about waste management and
Right.
composting and all. So I think we did our research and we took it upon priority, and we did back-to-back meetings and site visits where composting was happening. We studied various successful and failed model of waste management, and then we launched this our waste management program a little over 5 years back, and we achieved 100% segregation at source and 100% wet waste composting just within a couple of months, because we'd done our homework pretty well and we had a wet waste composting system. And eventually it started from there. MCD was really very happy about it, and we upgraded our model twice, thrice in between, making it, evolving it to be more efficient, less dependent on manual labor, overcoming various roadblocks which we were facing, growing, I would say, from pillar to post. We just went around studying what better we can do in waste management sector. Then single use plastic came in 2019. We did a lot of work around single use plastic campaigns with children, upcycling of old clothes into bags, doing door to door awareness around single use plastic. And eventually I think somewhere, my association with the corporation became stronger and stronger with each passing day, because probably that was also one of the topmost agenda of the corporation then, and it was ours too. And I think we just got it all together. We got all the stakeholders on boarded. I'm fortunate to be having very, very aware and conscious residents in Navjeevan Vihar, who really cooperated, and with their support, slowly, gradually, with each passing day, the model became better and better and better. And I just went with the flow.
Amazing, amazing. I must say, this is really a role model, because a leader of your sort was there to really lead people around. Two things which have come up very beautifully from what you have said is that we have to do our homework without preparation, because as one of my mentors also say, that 90% is preparation and only 10% is execution when you really come for the day. So the way you
True.
have really been working and done your preparation, that is the most important. Anybody who would like to start on of these journeys or any of the other journeys also, but you have to be very thoroughly researched and do your homework which you have done. Then second point which came up is that you keep evolving. So one model was not, which was okay, done and it's done. No, but you kept evolving and you kept evolving after year. And that is how you have become a role model today. Your colony has become a role model, a zero waste colony, so to say, in Delhi. So I'm sure these points will really go a long way for people who will be listening to this podcast to understand that we need to grow as a person when we keep evolving and we keep upskilling ourselves with the knowledge, with the wisdom around us. So thank you so much for those two insights, beautiful ones. And now, as we move forward, I would like you to share more about the impact now that you're creating with all the kind of small things that you have done before, which have taken a very big pace now.
Yeah, so it's been over 5 years that we've created this model now, and this was, I think, last month we celebrated our 5th year of Navjeevan model, where I would say in the last we've saved over 6 lakh kilograms of waste from going to the landfill site, producing over 50,000 kilograms of pure organic manure, and the beauty of it is all that we've maintained it all these 5 years. I've seen various models which slip down with the passage of time. So that is one impact, that we've been able to change the mindset of people. So I strongly believe that behavior change is the key to all the problems that we face, like and there are probably, there's no exception to this except for aging, which is a natural process. But otherwise, whatever problems we face in the world today are more or less related to behavior change. If you think about it, you talk about it. So I see, and that was my catch, and I caught it very early, that, an eye wash or maybe a superficial kind of an initiative will not work. You have to do a deep penetrative behavior change, and it comes with the passage of time, and people give it up before they actually reach somewhere. So we were prepared for a long drawn fight, I would say, in this field, and we were very fortunate that we achieved it very early, and we've maintained it all the while. So that was to do with a zero waste. If you talk about why Waste Wednesdays came up 2.5 years back, when I was taken as a city level task force member about 3 years or so back. We used to get kind of projects. We were told to submit monthly reports as member as to what we are doing in this sector. And then we researched Mehroli Mandi, which was using single-use plastic bags like anything. We just picked that mandi up. We used to visit it for, almost kind of 40 days, every couple of hours every day, to understand the behavior of people, to see why they can't switch over to cloth bag. Why don't they start getting cloth bags? So the reasons are so genuine that all of us are human beings. So if you try and understand the psyche and see why that change is not happening, it becomes very, very easy to solve the problem then. Like, I'll give you an example. The very same faces, because it was a wholesale mandi, so the very same faces would bang into us every week. They come for the weekly supplies, and again they'll just see a couple of 2 weeks later, they'll just see us and turn around, because they knew that we'll just ask them the same thing: why did you get your cloth back?
Yes,
But I mean, it was so natural that plastic is such an obvious, such an easy, such a effortless choice that anybody would get tempted towards it.
absolutely,
And to switch to a cloth bag is a conscious, is a choice which which you'll have to make efforts to adapt to. So, people, like, I was coming from office, I was not carrying a cloth bag. Like, I have 4, 5 cloth bags at home. It's just that I forget to carry one. Like, I didn't know, I don't have a cloth bag, but there's none available in the market as well. So what do I take?
Correct.
Simple as that, I mean, I'm just picking stuff worth rupees 20. How can I spend another 20 on the cloth bag? So very, very valid reasons. Then for shopkeepers also, they had very valid reasons. Like, we have to give something in which the consumers can carry their stuff, and this seems to be the easiest and the cheapest option. Plus,
Mm.
moreover, if we preach them too much to get their own cloth bag, or if we impose a cloth bag on them, they switch to another shopkeeper who's
Yes.
giving the plastic bag. So these were such valid reasons. So rather than imposing bans and fines, what we did, we came up with Vikalp. Vikalp was brought in November 2021. When we, understanding all of these gaps, we launched one small shop in Green Park. We launched this project whereby we placed a few cloth bags with the shopkeeper, telling him not to sell it, but to offer it to their consumers against 20 rupees deposit, telling them that, you could give it back to me at any point of time. Months, weeks, years later, I will return your 20 rupees if the cloth bag is clean and not damaged.
Mm.
So that changed everything, So 20 was nothing. It was just that people feel that it's a lot, but when you give them that flexibility and ease of psychological, I would say, comfort of the fact that they're not buying it, they are just borrowing it. I
Right.
think that was a game changer. And within a week we had 10 stores then, and within a month we had 70 stores, and now today we have 800 Vikalp stores in Delhi, from where the consumer can pick up a bag. Every bag carries a QR code, and the QR code takes you to the list of all the Vikalp stores, and you could return it at any point of time and take your 20 rupees back. I will not say that it's right now running extremely well. There are gaps, but I think this is one solution which is totally gap. I will say, there's no loophole in it, right? So the
Right.
minute, slowly and gradually, on one hand you impose a ban, on the other hand you're also providing a solution. Slowly that switch will occur and the behavior change will occur. So if you go, you spend 20 rupees, you know that you are not going to get a plastic bag. You spend 20 rupees for one bag. Next time you'll forget again and you spend another 20 for the bag. Third again. Fourth, you will remember to carry that bag. So that's how it worked, and it's I think it's working tremendously well. Then we thought that littering was another aspect that we wanted to kind of address. So we got in touch with RWAs, more RWAs, put them all together, asked them, requested them to collect all the waste plastic, whether it was low value, it won't matter. And we got it picked, and with a couple of our partners, and then we sent it for recycling. Electronic waste came in, we started collecting electronic waste. Then Ministry of Housing Urban Affairs, last year around World Environment Day, it launched RRR Center, Reduce, Reuse, Recycle. So we picked that up. Now we are running one RRR Center from where we've channelized 17,000 kilograms of clothes, utensils, furniture, books, toys, to various
Station and
NGOs.
all, yeah.
And apart from, almost 6 tons of plastic has been sent to recycler, 1.5 tons of electronic waste has been sent to recycler. And people are joining this drive. They're sending stuff from across Delhi NCR, wherever we have adequate volumes, we send our vehicle. If the volumes are not sufficient, people are passionate, they send it across to our RR center, and it runs 24 hours. I mean, there is no timing. We've placed one bin at the gate, and you could just drop off at the colony gate at any time of the day or night. At night, if you're just happening to cross towards this area and the traffic is less, just drop off your packet here at the gate. So that makes it very, very convenient for people also. Then we run
Absolutely.
a Batan Bhandar. From Batan Bhandar, you could borrow. We have 150 sets of steel thalis and spoons and glasses, which you could borrow for your party and use it and return it without any charges to us.
Mm.
So that to save disposables. So currently
Mm.
under Vikalp only we have almost 1.25 lakh cloth bags in circulation. If I calculate uh, on the lower end also of the spectrum, I think uh, over 1 crore plastic bags we've saved from entering into the environment. So now I've started quantifying the impact. Initially, it was just with the flow that you're going, whatever is coming your way. We've recently launched, now because the session is changing, we've recently launched another initiative where we are collecting old class. Your class is changing for colleges and for schools both. So you donate your books, notebooks, stationery to us, and we will collect it, sort it, and we'll, if there are takers, like I've already started getting requests that I need class 9 set, I need class 10. So just pick it up, come here and pick it up and leave. So RR Center has become now a hub of collection of items which probably uh, are a discard from your end, but they're actually not a waste. Discard is
Yeah.
something which you do not require, and waste is something which is of no use to anyone. So we
Right.
collect all of that discard and we convert it into a treasure for somebody else. So that's
Absolutely.
a triple R center. Then we run loads of programs with college and school students. We've just recently launched Students versus Plastic Toolkit with Municipal Corporation of Delhi, where we have now till date 2,600 schools have registered with us, which who are participating in our awareness and plastic collection activities around single-use plastic. So each child in this school is supposed to go and preach about single-use plastic to 5 more households and 5 times. So I mean, if I would just give it a number, though I've still the registrations are on. So these are class 2 3 onwards children going up to colleges, professional colleges, vocational colleges. So if you talk of even a number, a conservative number of 3 to 4 lakh students in these 2,600 schools, the amplifying effect and impact of it goes to maybe 15 to 20 lakh households.
Yes.
So
Five times. Time.
yes. So, and this is such an easy to understand and easy to do thing. The toolkit is just a soft copy. It has all the material, how to register, what is the magnitude of single-use plastic problem, why should you participate in controlling single-use plastic, how easily, what are the steps you can use, what are the alternatives available, what is an individual's impact if you alone pick up that adopt that best practice. So what is the impact? And see, I mean, how beautifully with just one small initiative we have just sent out a ripple effect. And I hope, I have a lot of hope from this, slowly, gradually, and this is supposed to culminate on 5th of June, but I won't call it a culmination. We'll keep it open, let the schools keep participating, whosoever wishes.
Absolutely.
Yes, so
Absolutely.
I
And why
have.
are you concentrating only on Delhi? Why are you not putting it for the whole
No,
of India?
we've started from Municipal Corporation of Delhi. We will be expanding it, and Earth Day is one of the partners in this. So we plan to expand it. So I have my kit, which is circulating now in countries outside India as well. It's not limited just to India. So see, it is such a simple thing. We all know. So I very strongly believe that there are 3 stages of behavior change. One is knowledge. We
Mm.
all know, right? We all know what is the problem of plastic, but we still don't know what are the solutions, what is the impact. So a complete set of knowledge which is required just by a lay person, which is not very technical, very
Yeah.
simple to understand. Then what are the steps that you can take to kind of bring about a change, and what is the kind of impact that you alone will have? So
Right.
that 3 things we've described it in the toolkit. Now that is knowledge. Then realization of that knowledge, when you actually feel, yes, I have to do it, yes, it is important, so that's realization. And then real time practice, so when actually the impact starts to happen on ground when it hits the ground. So these three stages, and it just by launching toolkit, it's not going to happen. That is why we integrated it with the students, because students have that will and that ability to grab and
Exactly
grasp.
also.
Yes.
Yeah,
So they are like sponges. So they are absorbing it. So they not only will take care of those five households, but they'll be checks and balances in their households as well, in their own families, in their own friends. So somewhere, if we sow the seed now, it will
yeah,
certainly have a result. So you have to start somewhere, big, small, whatever,
somewhere.
but do
Absolutely.
start.
Absolutely amazing, amazing. This is unbeatable. I must say, you are unstoppable. And I know the
We all are, Monica ji. It's just that we don't realize what is the potential of an individual, right? Like, we say it's like a drop in the ocean, but at the end of the day, the ocean is made up of all those
of those
individual
drops.
drops, right?
Yes, yes,
So
yes,
I think that's we say na, uh, Brahmasmi. I mean, I am the universe. Yeah. So
yes, yes,
Ahem
yes,
Brahmasmi. So I mean, so this is what
yes.
it is. Like I am the universe. So whatever vibrations you'll send out is certainly going to impact everything around you. No matter
Absolutely.
how small you are, but those vibrations, when they go and they hit the universe, there's a huge amount of impact, there's a huge amount of change somewhere which starts. So I very strongly believe I started without any knowledge, without any qualification in this sector, and I very strongly still maintain, yes, we have, fortunately now we have degrees and we have doctorates in sustainability and waste management, but such a simple thing to be managing. No, I mean, if you think, reduce, reuse, recycle, just three things. I mean, it
Yes,
is so simple. So I
yes.
try and simplify everything for a commoner, so they find it very, very easy to follow. So that is what I believe in, that the most impactful things are the simplest ones and the
Very
easy.
simple. Yeah, absolutely. So wonderfully said. The key points from this discussion we just now had is that it is about your behavior. We talk about sustainable behavior. So if your behavior is sustainable, if you have thought that I'm going to do it today and you forget tomorrow, then it is not sustainable behavior. Then you will not be able to contribute in any ways in sustainable development goals. But if your behavior is sustainable, that you have taken this promise, this vow, this pledge that I will continue to do this for the time I am here in this planet, then you are going to really make an impact. Even a small impact will really go a long way, because we are the microcosm of that macrocosm. So every small step which you are going to take is going to be a contributive step towards the betterment of this planet where we live. And we are going to leave this planet in a better place for our next generation. And that is the most important thing. And how good it is that we are involving the next generation, as just mentioned by Dr. Ruby, that we are involving them in the taking care of this planet. And this is a wonderful way of going. So as we move forward, I would like to, although you have already spoken about the individual impact, but still, how can you give a few pointers as to how an individual, because every individual actually gets so much overwhelmed, how much I can contribute. So they just leave it. I
Yes,
have been
very
doing waste segregation
very
for so long, but still every time the person comes, I will ask him, भैया आप ये ऐसे फेंक तो नहीं देंगे? Again, you will not collect it and you will actually take it to the right place or not. But so then my effort, is it going to be useful or not? And how do I really contribute in the SDGs?
true. So, talking about SDGs, first of all, I'll say, what is SDG? What was the concept behind SDG? Was making world a better place. So don't go by numbers 1 to 17. You don't have to segregate. Just think about it, and it's beautifully planned, I must say. It's such a great initiative. So think, how can you make world a better place is all what SDG is about, right? I mean, it could be poverty, it could be hunger, it could be women empowerment, it could be gender equality, it could be education, it could be air, water, waste, climate. Talk about it, and it has everything. And I love the last goal, which is
Correct.
partnership. So I
Partnership.
think beautifully integrated into that. Now talking about our individual impact, I mean, That's what, and that is exactly, I love this part, because you see, I mean, that's what I tell people, that everybody around me is using plastic bags. What if I alone change?
Mm.
The world is not going to change. So I give them the numbers, like, if you alone adopt a cloth bag and say no to single use plastic bag, just the bag, you save 500 plastic bags a year, and
Yes.
one bag stays in the environment for 1000 years. So just calculate every year, 500 multiplied by 1000 is your impact every year. It could range between 20,000 to 40,000 bags in a lifetime, multiplied by 1000 years. You see how much burden you alone are offloading from the environment. So that is just one small thing. Talk about waste segregation practice. Your alone impact is about 4,000 kilograms of waste, diverting it from the landfill site. Is it less? No, it's not less.
Not, not at all.
Yeah, so, and you talk about straws, 500 a year. You talk about cups, disposable. So if you calculate these cumulative numbers, they will upscale, and you put it all together. And I'm really glad there are now startups which have started talking about carbon footprint. How much
Yes.
is a footprint that you will
Yeah.
generate or you will save? So why can't our practices become carbon neutral? So
Yeah.
see, you'll breathe, you'll live, you will certainly generate some amount of waste. You will have a certain carbon footprint, but try and see how you can counter that by doing
Yeah.
responsible acts, by
Yeah.
even by engaging and changing the habit of people, for that matter, has a huge impact. That is what students versus plastics is.
Yeah.
One child goes to 5 households. See the amount amplifying effect of that thing. So that's what I say, 1 to 5 to 25 to 125. It is a chain reaction. And you are
Absolutely.
just one odd link in that chain. So you
Absolutely.
matter. So I know that you'll ask me this, what is the message? So I have only one message for the audience today, is which I say, I matter. I have a message for you, that you matter. So
Yeah.
you matter, and you must understand that you really matter. So every little act of yours will create a ripple somewhere, will create an impact somewhere. Now that is up to you, whether you want to create a positive impact or a negative one. And
Right.
every negative impact will come back to you one way or the other, directly or indirectly. It will come back to you one day, or it will go back to your generations. So mind your act, be
Yeah.
mindful about your actions. So that is the only message I have, that you truly matter, and you must maintain this, that even if nobody is watching me, every act of yours has certain vibrations, and it will come back to you.
Absolutely. Very well said, Dr. Ruby. Because if you are in a small organization also, as a leader, how impactful you can be. If you have thought that in my organization this can be done, if Dr. Ruby could change the whole colony, no, it is a big colony, and if she could bring out a change there, which is now having impact in other colonies, and it has become a role model, a kind of a template which been used for other colonies in different countries. So why cannot your small office, small organization, your school, your college cannot become that kind of a role model for other colleges? So let us be that one individual, one decision maker, if makes this one decision that in my organization, I'm not going to use any plastic, single use plastic, or I will have a waste segregation in my organization, or probably solar panels, whatever you want to do that impact for. So we can really make a large impact in the total. So that was the real good message, that you are important, you can create that impact, and you matter. So thank you so much, Dr. Ruby. It was so wonderful and very insightful for you being here and creating this impact. And I'm sure this is going to really create a ripple effect for a lot many people who will be listening to this episode. Thank you so much. And
Thank you, Monica ji. This was really a pleasure, and I'm sure. See, again, as I said, you two are a link in that chain. I'm sure it will hit people, whatever manner. And really, thanks so very much for having me over, and I wish you and the podcast all the very best, and hope to hear more from you, more guests, more
Yes.
visitors. And I would request the audience, whenever Dr. Monica posts the link to your podcast, you must come out with the questions, with the queries, with the suggestions, with the achievements, and with the failures. And we're all there to handhold you, guide you. I'll keep an eye on your podcast, Dr. Monica, for sure.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So, audience, you have just heard Dr. Ruby Makhija. And if you have any questions for her, you have any queries for her, you have any suggestions, you can put down in the comments below. And if you're listening to this podcast and you have certain people who you can bring, tell them to come here and spread the word, or if you yourself would like to come and share your experiences regarding sustainability, you are most welcome. You can just message me and I will contact you with the details. Thank you so much, Dr. Ruby, once again. Namaste.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Namaste.